morning, Hoppers. This is Mrs. Sutliff with your writing lesson for the day. Writers, last time we talked about the fact that teaching can be a way to prime the pump for writing, and my goodness, that is what happened for many of you. Thumbs up if you found that after you taught about your topic, it wasn't hard to really think about your topic, and you learned a whole lot, and you knew a whole lot, and that made it easier to write about it. Give yourself a pat on the back. You have moved from pre-writing to the writing phase of the writing process. Writers, just as it is great to stop and jot notes and to research and read about your topic, it is also important to reread those notes, pause to think about it, and then start writing. I know that first you are told to write quickly, but now I want you to actually pause while you're writing and actually think about what your notes say and decide how you feel about it or what you think about it. Just the same way that an artist will sketch a portrait really quickly before they actually start drawing, you have sketched the structure of your topic report that you are writing, and now it is time to start filling in and adding those good details. Shifting between note-taking and writing and rereading and thinking is important no matter what kind of text you are writing. You'll always want to pause, read your notes, and think, what am I trying to say here and what do I think about it? So today, writers, I want to teach you that you can grow ideas about the facts that you have in your notes. Make sure that you're looking at your notes right now and not your book when you're doing this lesson. If you do need to go back to the book or the website you are researching, you have to go from your research, from the book you're reading, to your notebook, and then from your notebook to the paragraphs that you're writing. That will keep you from plagiarizing. The last thing you want to do is get caught plagiarizing. Also, today, writers, I want to teach you that you can elaborate on your notes in your notebook using sentence starters. Hopefully you remember the sentence starters that we used in reading, and we used some in writing as well, and that can help you think about your topic and include your thoughts, which makes your writing more interesting to read. And lastly, today, writers, I want to teach you that you can rewrite the notes in your notebook so that you have paragraphs in your notebook. All right, let's hop right in and try it. So how do writers balance the tasks of researching about their topics and writing about their topics? Well, it's not easy, so let's make sure we get our thinking caps on and we're ready to try really hard. The first step is to get out your book and put on your reading glasses and read carefully. After you are finished reading, or how about this, hang on, while you're in the middle of reading, you can do what this second frog is doing, and you can zoom in on the details. If you don't notice the details and facts, you have nothing to stop and jot down, right? Then finally, you need to think about your notes. That's what this third frog is doing here. Think about your notes. And the last step, of course, is to write what you think as well as what you learned in your notebook. And make sure when you write today that you use paragraphs and sentences. We're actually going to make the shift from stopping and jotting little notes that aren't complete thoughts to writing complete thoughts in sentences and paragraphs. Okay, Hoppers, if you can remember these 4 steps, and you possibly might need to do another step where you stop and jot some more while you're reading your sources. You might need to do that as well. But if you can remember these steps, then you'll have a really good report when you're all done. All right, Hoppers, it's about time to get out some of the resources that we'll be using for the lesson today. Readers, have you ever noticed that while you're reading, you might have this tiny little voice in your head? Everyone has this voice, but some of us haven't learned quite yet to listen to this voice, but readers have this tiny voice in your head, and the best readers, the best researchers, and the best writers pay attention to that tiny voice, because that tiny voice is giving you ideas for what you have to say about what you're reading, and you need to pay attention to that so that you can leave tracks of your thinking by stopping and jotting. Okay, a lot of us, when we stop and jot so far this year, have just been writing down the facts, but it's not enough to search for the facts and details. You have to notice when you have a strong reaction to them, because those are the parts where you have something to say. And those are the parts where you can add to your writing, your thinking, and make your writing more interesting to read. Okay? So we're going to try this today. Readers, while you're reading, whether you're reading your notes or you're reading your sources, your websites, and your books on your topic, you need to pay attention to the strong reactions that you have to the text. This means that not only are you learning something new, but it's a chance for you to teach something new to your readers. And that's when writing and reading about these topics gets so interesting. Okay, so you're going to use a form that looks just like this. It's in your blue booklet, and it's going to help you get ready to actually write about your topic, because you'll just be capturing your ideas while you read. And I'll show you how to do this in just a moment. So use the prompts that are in your purple booklet on page 34, or possibly in the back of your blue booklet. All the way in the back we have some prompts to grow ideas about our reading. You might want to get both of those things out so that you can follow along as I do this. All right? This page in your blue booklet, which the page number should hopefully be on the board so you can find it. And if you get all these things out, then you'll be really ready to watch me as I show you how to do this. So let's get ready. You can pause the video and push play again when you have 34 in your purple booklet, the last page in your blue booklet, or this stop and jot page in your blue booklet, which I put the page numbers on the board. So just check the board to see which pages to open. All right, pause and do that, and then push play when you're ready. Okay, hoppers, I'm ready, and I hope you are too. One thing I forgot to mention is that if you don't have your writing notebook or your reading notebook, not your booklets, but your notebook, if you don't have that out, where will you capture your thoughts? Where will you stop and jot your details and facts? So you probably will eventually need to get that out too, but for now you can just watch me and see how I do this. I'm going to be reading a page from the book about Japan that I'm researching about earthquakes and volcanoes, because I remember that I really wanted to put the cause and effect of earthquakes into my Japan report. So listen as I read, and I'll show you how I find a really interesting detail from just one tiny paragraph in my book, and I turn it into more than just a few sentences, really showing what I think about it and expanding on what I'm learning from the book so that I can teach it to someone else. Watch me. I'm going to go ahead and try this. Earthquakes and volcanoes. If you were to spend some time in Japan, you might feel the earth shake. This is an earthquake, which are common in Japan. Most earthquakes are small and harmless. Every now and then, however, Japan is shaken by a large earthquake, which may topple buildings and cause giant cracks to appear in the roads. As you travel around, you may also see volcanoes oozing red-hot lava. Japan has many active volcanoes. Okay, hoppers, here's the stop and jot that I did for that paragraph. I wrote, earthquakes cause cracks in the road and toppled buildings. Now, I need to go to either page 34 in my purple booklet where it says thinking and writing about literature or writing about the text, or I can use the back of my blue booklet, and I need to think about it. What does that fact about cracks in the road and toppled buildings make me think? I'm going to really think hard about it. Okay, Hoppers, I got my notebook ready the rest of the way, and I have included my thinking, and I just wrote down all of the thoughts I had. Whether or not I want to include all of them in my final report or not, I don't want to forget anything I was thinking, so I wrote down all of it, and this is what I have. I think it would be scary to live in a place where earthquakes are common, like in Japan. I wonder if it takes them a while to clean up after big earthquakes. Now look carefully and you can see the sentence starters that I used. From page 34, I used the bottom one, I think. And then I'm pretty sure I wonder is a sentence starter from the blue booklet, but if it's not, it's a really good one to get your thinking out there on the page. So I think or I wonder, both really easy sentence starters to get you to really put down your thoughts about the facts that you are stopping and jotting. So this is the idea. With your writing, you're going to look at your notes or possibly look at your sources again, like I did during this lesson, and you're going to find a detail that you can stop and jot and then include your thinking about, and then you're going to move it into paragraph form in your writing notebook so that you're really starting to actually write your report. Paragraphs built up of sentences, built up of your thoughts and your topic information that you've been writing about. All right. So that's how you turn stop and jots into your thinking and you make your writing even more interesting. Before you do this in your notebook, I want you all to try it once on Edmodo. So you're watching this video on Edmodo. Off on the right, you can see where you can click reply and you can try this. I want you to pick one stop and jot about your topic, and just like I have right here on the left, and share it with us. And then right after that, I want you to put your thinking. So you can use a sentence starter like I did, and you can share. If you don't want to share, that's okay. This is kind of like raising your hand in the middle of the lesson to share your thinking about what I'm trying to teach you. If you don't want to share, you don't have to. However, you are required to look at what someone else does so that you can really see how this works by watching a few other people try it as well. So make sure that you check that out on the right side by the video in Edmodo. Or try it yourself, please. All right, moving on, the directions are right here for that. So again, reply to this video, share a stop and jot from a note that you have in your notebook, or just open your book on your topic and share some interesting fact with us. And then in that very same post, please keep it all together into one post so that it's easy to see. Use a prompt from page 34 in your purple booklet or the back of your blue booklet and grow an idea about that stop and jot that you had. And if nothing else, you at least need to watch others in class try it. All right, pause the video and do that now. Please make sure you pause this video and you try it. This is your assignment. You're doing this right now. If you need to, you can read this again to know exactly what you were supposed to be doing. And push play when you're finished sharing or reading what someone has posted on Edmodo. All right, Hoppers, we are ready for you to go ahead and get started with the lesson for the day. So here are your instructions. Please make sure that if you have no idea what to do, you come back to this part in the video and you pause it right here and you look at what I have asked you to do. Do not waste time today wondering what you're supposed to be writing. All right? The first thing you're going to do is open your book or your website on your topic. You might have to do some more research so that you can actually write about the facts that you've discovered. So you can open your blue booklet to page 52. It looks just like that little bubble that I had earlier in this video, and you're just going to stop and jot the little details that you're learning. If you want, you can even put quotation marks around exact words from the book if you want to just copy down the exact fact from the book. But then in your writing notebook, you're going to be writing paragraphs, okay, on your notes. write a paragraph, and then write what you think about it. Do you think it's cool? Do you think it's interesting or surprising? Scary? I thought it was scary to live in Japan with all those earthquakes, but you might have thought that it was really cool that they would be maybe fixing cracks in the roads because of earthquakes. Whatever you think is what you think, and don't be afraid to write down what you think. And please, please, please make sure that you try your best to listen to that tiny voice in your head and see what that tiny voice thinks about what you read. Capture those reader reactions down on your paper so that you can write about them. All right, that's it for the day, hoppers. Happy writing and be productive. Make sure you pause the video right here so that you can remember the directions.